Hi Dukin, it's the Poundland Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2, of course, one of the most iconic computer games of the 90s, synonymous with the Super Nintendo, but also available on the Mega Drive, Amiga, even on the ZX Spectrum. Reviewed that many years ago on ChinnyVision. Go and check that out. Type in Street Fighter 2, ChinnyVision, should turn it up. But what happens in a strange alternate reality where that's not the version of Street Fighter 2 we get? So, as you'll know, US Gold had the deal to distribute Capcom games on the home computers in Europe, and therefore they distributed the original Street Fighter game. It was converted by Tiertex, and frankly, it was terrible. US Gold thought, we like this Street Fighter thing. We could do our own sequel and then sell that back to Capcom. So they started developing a Street Fighter 2 game. And then Capcom went, no thanks lads, we got something better in mind. And this is how we end up with Human Killing Machine, a game that originated on the ST, and that is where we will start. All you need to know in terms of the plot is it's supposed to be a Street Fighter game running on the very similar engine, if not an identical engine to the original Street Fighter home computer game by Tiertex. You don't get to select a character, and you don't get to select where you start. You just start off in Russia, and Kwon, you are him on the left, has to be the Russian guy called Igor, or as I'm going to call him, Igor. So it looks like a Street Fighter game so far, with not many moves and not many frames of animation. You'll notice that Igor can take out quite a lot of energy just from one hit on me, but I don't take much energy out of him when I hit him. Indeed, his energy will also replenish. Yeah! So look how much energy I've lost already. Colours are rather muted. And there is a tune the entire time. Over to the Amiga. A better tune, but not much. Kwon is strong. Kwon needs 5 knockdowns, enemy needs 3 knockdowns. I have to knock down the enemy 3 times, he has to kill me 5 times. As you can see on the top left and top right there. If it says Kwon is strong, that's the setup. If it says Kwon is weak, it means you need even more knockdowns on the enemy. You'll notice I'm repeating the same move over and over and again, because basically if you get within reach of the enemy, he will take out so much energy from you, it's just game over. So you need to get lots of small moves in on him very quickly. If you try and play the game properly, then you will just die. Over to the PC. Now I wanted to do direct capture of this, but it played up. I just couldn't get it capturing properly. I had sync problems. You can see on my RetroTink it starts off fine, then we go into the menu screen and it all goes horribly wrong. So what I had to do was get my rather rubbish webcam and point it at the screen of my Dell 486 laptop while playing the game, and the microphone is on me while I do it. So here we are on my webcam, pointing at my Dell laptop and my microphone slightly over there, because I assumed there was going to be some PC audio, so I wanted to try and capture that. But no, it's silent, so now I'm just rather awkwardly positioned with a webcam in front of my face, a microphone off to one side, on my knees, playing this absolute trash. And I mean, I've slowed the PC down to 8 megahertz. So this is the authentic speed. If you've got as much as a 286, this thing's going to be unplayable from what I can see on the speeds. It's terrible. It's awful. You can get IK Plus on the PC. Controls are QAO and P, which is nice for a PC game to have that kind of standard 8-bit layout. It's the one comfort kneeling here in the dark, that I've got a decent keyboard layout. but it's the same terrible game. And you just know, I mean, you're going to have to end up just kicking him. Diagonally like that. There we go. Just keep kicking Igor. Until we defeat him. Just grind through this terrible, terrible game. Absolute dross. Come on, can I defeat him? Clearly, these 16-bit versions, I'm not going to play them all through. Because I read one account of a guy playing through the Amiga version. Oh, look, he had some audio. Did you hear that? Excitement. Yeah, one guy said he took 2.5 hours to play this through. Because you just have to grind it. It's a game you have to keep on grinding with the same moves to get anywhere. Over to the 8-bits and starting with the Amstrad CPC. It's a 1988/1989 game. A nice menu on the Amstrad. Literally, just says game over. Just... So on the CPC, we have some Mode 1 graphics, medium resolution. They've clearly been converted from the ST version, so they look authentic, although it's not ugly, it's just a bit messy. The gameplay is, however, exactly the same limited animation, the same gameplay, exactly the same problems. Spectrum version, which is dated 88. I think some of the versions came out 88, some of them came out 89. And it is a multi-load. You get 2 characters per load, or 2 characters per location, and then you have to load the next batch in. So it's a bit cleaner on the Spectrum. Monochrome. But you can see just by jumping at him, I'm dead, or nearly dead already, with 1 bar of energy left. You do seem to make a bit more damage on the hits on the Spectrum and Amstrad version, but regardless, the enemy's energy will recharge. What a nuts thing to do! C64 version with an incredibly ugly loading screen, dated 89. Just what a nuts thing to do in a computer game, a fighting game, to have the enemy's energy recharge. So it looks quite different on the 64. You're up in the top half of the screen. It's a bit like Pit Fighter on the 64 and Master System, where you have those really small sprites. The screen flashes to indicate you've hit the enemy, or they've hit you, which is actually quite nice. You immediately know if you've got a blow or they have. Even with these different graphics, the game is still terrible. And it's just a question of attrition, just keeping on hitting them with the same repetitive moves. So, having beaten the enemy 3 times, Igor, we now go and beat up a dog. And it's called, wait for it, Shepsky. Dear me. Anyway, ST version. And Quan has won that. He has boxing gloves. Why? I think that'd be a disadvantage when he's playing or fighting, but yeah. And now I've got to beat up a dog, and you have to wonder what Tiertex were on. I've said this before about certain games in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of dogs running around and things in them that you get to kill, or just why would you be fighting a dog? Just why? Who on earth was sitting at Tiertex going, I know, let's kick the crap out of a dog? Ah, Amiga version. Just. Nobody looked at this and went, no, let's not do this. I mean, I suppose it appears to be easier for Tiertex to animate, because the animation is shocking, the moves are terrible. We're back on the PC, and look, we've got some audio. I didn't think I was going to stand getting off level 1 there, but hey, oh, here we go. Down Shep. Excuse me while I absolutely grind this for the next 7 to 10 minutes. CPC. I'm not disliking this colour scheme. And I bet it looks pretty good on a CTM monitor. I am, however, disliking the purple, whatever it is, Shepsky is in this version because it just looks awful. I'm just shaking my head here, wondering just how anybody in the entire chain of command, from the lowest coding grunt at Tiertex right up to the top management at US Gold, looked at this and went, this is acceptable, this is fine. Yay, I've beaten a dog to death. Hey, multi-load time. That's more fun than the game. C64. I'm cheating now. I don't have cheats on the PC, ST and Amiga, but I do have cheats on the C64 Spectrum and Amstrad. So I've beaten Shepsky on the ST. And we will go to whatever delights the next level has in store for us. We're going to be beating up a lady in a bikini. Great. Oh, look, it's Amsterdam. And it's late at night. And that was quick. I mean, what was that? 2 blows? 1 blow? Maria. Oh. Right. I got a full-on kick her in the face and it knocks her down by about 10%. And just... Oh. Amiga version and my version is bugged. But it's made it more entertaining. Because it just... Oh. I'm sure that's probably my crack. But... yeah. A New Computer Express gave the Amiga version 1 star and said it was a travesty of a game. The game cost $14.99 on the Amiga and they still just absolutely slated it. Zap gave the Amiga version 45%. Over to the CPC, where we are back on the streets of Amsterdam outside the Nacht Club late at night, and Maria is apparently a prostitute, so now we've gone from beating up dogs to beating up prostitutes. Oh, I might actually beat her. I might actually beat her. It's marginal here. No, I've died because I went near her. Spectrum version, and I'm noticing something on Maria there. Specifically 2 pixels. Oh dear. Oh, Tiertex, you are shameless. Oh, Quan is tired now, so I need 4 knockdowns. Zap gave the C64 version 31%. A $9.99 on the C64, $8.99 on the Specky. Back on the ST, and I'm desperately trying to beat Maria. But she's beaten me off again. Yay! Right. So we've knocked her down. If you can hear any of that wonderful audio. Right, this should be Pat Butcher. Just keep kicking her in the ankles. Our only aim is to get as far as we can. I mean, I'm doing quite well here. Come on, come on. Oh, she just... What kind of game has a recharge thing on the... Oh. Come on. Yes, yes. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Yes, yes, yes. Right. I've done it. Oh, glory be. We're off to the next level. We're going to Spain, and we've got the bullfighter man, who is pretty devastating. Quan is tired. He's tired. I'm tired. Miguel, who is suspiciously similar to a waiter character who appears later in the game. Oh, this is the PC version, by the way, for the... There's going to be an extended version of this. Well, I'm going to do the unedited version of this PC footage on ChinnyVision 2 so you can see the pain of playing this game. I mean, I haven't got many moves to use anyway, and really, if he gets that sword out... And we're off to Spain on the Amstrad version against Miguel. And some nice shading on the level as well. Look at the ground there. Again, I look back, that looks pretty good on a CTM monitor. But this baddie's even more dangerous because he can take even more energy out of you. Spectrum version, where we're now beating up a bull. More animal cruelty for you, as well as the racial stereotypes. The Crash gave the game 73%. They said it was a standard but attractive beat-em-up. Interestingly, Dragon Ninja was on the page after this, which they gave 46%. And the page before it, they had Wet Le Mans, which they gave 66%. So they're saying Human Killing Machine on the Spectrum is better than both Dragon Ninja and Wet Le Mans. All I can say is, I think US Gold must have put in one hell of a large advertising order to get that kind of rating. Crash, what are you thinking? C64 version, and I've been gored to death by a bull, which is frankly more fun than this game is. Off to Germany now, where we get to beat up a waiter. But wait, he throws things at you, and one hit from those wine bottles will, well, kill you. As is the problem with so many of the baddies in this game. And I should mention, while we're on the C64, yes, there's a tune running in the background all of the time, just as there is with the ST and Amiga. But with the Amstrad and the Spectrum, no, they simply couldn't be bothered. It's basic spot effects only. Even on the Spectrum 128K, because Tiertex. Just these characters lack so much imagination. These guys were trying to pitch this as a second Street Fighter game, yet they looked at Street Fighter and then, with all their lack of imagination, had to come up with this. Final level is Beirut, because, well, the era we're in, I suppose. And the background is nice, and the final baddie in the game is this huge, huge man who has even less moves than the normal characters. Except on the C64 where he's the same size as you. Should you complete this rubbish, the game will loop round back to Russia. Yes, you can't complete it. You will just go round forever and ever and ever in a human killing machine hell. Human killing machine. I think I've probably said it already. It's like the world's least imaginative people have looked at Street Fighter and gone, yeah, let's do that. And somehow, from the lowest programmer at Tiertex right up to the top management at US Gold, no one looked at this and thought, this is unacceptably poor on so many levels. Gameplay-wise, it's terrible. Graphically, it's terrible on the 16-bits, and on the 8-bits, it's just kind of middling. There's some nice digitised backgrounds, but the actual character movements are terrible. Music is okay, but the characters you play against in the game, you know, let's take all the racial stereotypes to one side for a second. The Dutch prostitutes, the Spanish bullfighter. No, let's look at the fact you've got to kick a dog to death and also beat up a bull. Who thought this was a good idea? What sick people? Just what? You know, I've played so many games over the years, and yes, there are games where dogs run past and things, you quickly kick them, and you know that was a thing at the time. I don't think you'd get away with it now. Someone could correct me on that. But actually, to have a playable character in a fighting game where you are kicking and just no. And then we go into the fact that there's no frames of animation at all in this. The enemies have really repetitive and limited movements, and game-breakingly and astonishingly, they decided at some point, oh, hang on a minute, this is a bit too easy. What we do is give the enemies a huge amount of power when they hit you, so you can be killed in a couple of blows, and you can't put much damage on the enemy, plus the enemy's energy constantly recharges. It's just it's just I cannot comprehend what anyone involved in this total dross was thinking of. I'm not going to mention all the individual versions in the summing up here, because frankly, they're all broken. Just burn this crap and go and play Street Fighter 2 on your Super Nintendo now, and let's pretend Human Killing Machine doesn't exist, because the only way to win at Human Killing Machine is not to play it.